I cannot ignore the elephant in the room any longer. It's time to talk about virtue scaling. In the past week, I've gotten tons of requests for updated build guides, and I promise they are coming. This weekend, I sat down to test out our 3 starting packs, thinking that would be a great place to start. And, well, by the end of this video, I'm going to show you a build you can use on any of the 3 starting packs, and this is not a good thing. Virtue scaling changed from many packs in Preludes 12. Some of those changes were really good. For example, Mora's Hand is so much better now, but the starting packs are suffering more than ever from the courage problem. In Preludes 11, you can make an argument for running High Spirit on Oshelda to benefit from longer CC durations. You could even make an argument for running High Grace on Siren to catch more enemies with your Pictrix Powder CC and Trick of the Light Explosion. This is no longer true in Preludes 12. The scaling formulas for starting pack Arcanics have changed. Now every point of Spirit gives you roughly 0.136 seconds additional duration for both Siren and Oshelda Arcanics. Meanwhile, the difference between minimum and maximum range for Pictrix Powder is about as long as your Envoy is tall. In contrast, every point of Courage increases your break damage from Bestone and your explosion damage from Trick of the Light by about 2 points, which isn't massive but still adds up in a meaningful way. If I'm a brand new Envoy playing Oshelda and I just ranked up and put a point into Spirit, I am not going to notice a 1/10 of a second long duration increase. If I'm a high-level Envoy with 20 points to spend on Arcanics, I could put all of them into Spirit and get just under 3 seconds added to my duration, or I could put them all into Courage and get an extra 40 damage. Tethran does a bit better with Spirit scaling than Oshelda and Siren, getting a whole 1/4 of a second duration for every point in Spirit, but this is still not going to be noticeable for low-level Envoys, and it certainly does not come anywhere close to the massive benefits of using a Courage-attuned weapon on a full Courage Tethran build. What this all means is that right now, weapon attunement is the only reason to put points in any virtue other than Courage if you're using any of the 3 starting packs. I am so tempted from here to launch into deeper analysis of all our packs and how virtue scaling affects them, but instead I am choosing to be brief because I have faith in DE and I believe that they will change this. I want very much for this video to become obsolete as quickly as possible, so instead of continuing to rant about how the Courage meta is squashing build diversity, I'm going to show you how to build your starting pack while you wait for DE to make some adjustments. Let's start with pact upgrades. The first pact upgrade you want to get for both Siren and Tethran is Sympathy. This will give you a very strong heal over time whenever you pull a smite, and upgrading Sympathy will make that heal over time last longer, so you get more healing. You can skip this if you're playing Oshelda because Elder Bloom will start you off with a very strong heal, although if you find you want more survivability, you can always put points in Sympathy later on. The next upgrade you want to get is Akin. This is going to give you cooldown reduction on all Arcanics, so it will be good for all 3 of these packs. From here, you want to put points into the upgrade that will boost the virtue your weapon is attuned to. If you max out your starting weapon and then start leveling a different weapon, make sure you check the attunement and change your upgrades if necessary. So, say I start on Siren with Thistle or the Starling. I'm going to max out Sympathy first, then max Akin, then put as many points as I can into Sapphine's Grace to boost my weapon damage. If I decide I want to try out the Royal Tines instead, then I'd want to take those points out of Sapphine's Grace and put them into Iridis's Favor. Once you've maxed the upgrades for your weapon's attuned virtue, put points into Mora's Pride for more Courage to boost the damage from your pact Arcanics. If your weapon is attuned to Courage, then you've got a distinct advantage here since you will have extra points to spend on other upgrades. How you spend your leftover points is mostly up to personal preference. Everbound can give you more life if you feel a bit too squishy, or Voided offers nice armor strip when you pull a smite. Each of the starting packs also has at least one unique upgrade that is worth considering. If you're trying to farm a specific drop, Pickpocket will guarantee loot from unalerted enemies, so that can be very handy for getting fragments when you're playing Siren. Conqueror offers a pretty decent heal for Tethran. It's not super crazy, but it's enough to take some of the pressure off in melee combat. Vernal Pool gives extremely good cooldown reduction on Oshelda. I was not a fan of this upgrade a few preludes ago because it felt too niche and situational, but now there are plenty of sources of water to trigger it, and the CDR you get is excellent. Once you've selected your pact upgrades, all you need to do is put your virtue points into your weapon's attuned virtue. If you favor heavy attacks, then you actually don't want to stop at your weapon's visible attunement cap, as heavy attacks can scale past this cap. Attunement caps don't show as a stat on your weapon, but the damage values here will stop going up when you add points after you've hit the cap. If you favor basic attacks, then once you see the damage number stop increasing, you can stop adding points and put the rest into courage. And that's it. Well, okay, there's also runes and totems to consider, but those are definitely going to need their own video. Now, this quick and dirty packed build breakdown is mostly aimed at new envoys, but it's worth mentioning that the way wild arts stack with base packed arts means that eventually you can just max almost everything. I do understand wanting to make wild stronger than their base counterparts, but I'm not sure giving us more packed upgrades is the best way to go about this. It seems like virtue gems might be a good solution once they're working properly, but only if all 3 virtues are actually useful. The bottom line is that virtues are just not balanced right now. Spirit and Grace do not offer enough value to packed Arcanics, and the ability to change a weapon's attunement with Blessed Joinery means all endgame builds will be Courage builds. In contrast, enchantments are very interesting and fun to play with. Despite being a bit buggy, as is to be expected so soon after a major update, runes and totems offer many viable combinations, each with their own pros and cons. I wish DE would tell us more about their vision for virtue scaling and packed Arcanics. What we've heard so far has been pretty vague and doesn't seem to track with what we're actually getting in-game. So again, hopefully there's some kind of bug or calculation error, and by next week we'll all be laughing about how yet another video is outdated mere days after I post it. In the meanwhile, I guess I better start grinding Kith of Kings standing just in case I need to buy Blessed Joinery. If you enjoyed this video or found the information helpful, please consider giving it a like, and subscribe for more Soulframe content. What do you think of Soulframe's virtues? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, happy hunting!